Welcome back to the channel, everyone. Today we're diving deep into the Wheel of Fortune episode that aired on January 12th, 2025. What a show it was. We saw some incredible puzzle solving, some nail-biting spins, and moments that had us all on the edge of our seats. So grab your popcorn, get comfy, and let's break down all the action from last night's game. We kicked things off with our three new contestants: Sarah from sunny California, Mark, a teacher from Ohio, and Jessica, a chef from New Orleans. The energy was high right from the start. Pat and Vanna were in top form, and you could just feel the excitement in the studio. The first toss-up puzzle was fun and games, and Sarah buzzed in with lightning speed, bagging her first $1,000 and the right to spin the wheel first. What a way to start! Round one's category was same name. The puzzle board was set, and Sarah gave the wheel a powerful first spin. She landed on a cool $700 and correctly guessed the letter T. The board lit up with 3 T's, giving her a quick $2,100. She kept her momentum, picking up the wild card with a correct guess of N. Things were looking great for her. But then, disaster struck. She hit bankrupt right next to the big $2,500 wedge. Just like that, her money and the wild card were gone. A tough break, but that's the nature of the wheel. The turn passed to Mark. He started cautiously. Picking common consonants like R and S, he was slowly building up his bank, avoiding the dreaded bankrupt and lose a turn spaces. The puzzle was starting to take shape, but it was still a bit tricky. The letters on the board were spelling out something that had us all guessing. Mark decided to buy a vowel, and the letter E appeared 4 times, really opening up the puzzle. He was on a roll, but then he decided to spin one more time instead of solving. The audience gasped as the wheel slowed down, landed on lose a turn. Oh, the drama. So, the wheel moved to Jessica. She had a chance to swoop in and steal the round. With only a few letters left to reveal, she spun with confidence. She landed on $500, guessed the letter L, and then, with a smile, she solved the puzzle, Peter and Wendy Pan. A fantastic solve. She scooped up the money for the round, and we headed into our first commercial break with Jessica in the lead. The game was just getting started, and it was already shaping up to be an unforgettable night. After the break, we jumped right into the mystery round. The category was food and drink. Mark was up first, and he was determined to make up for his last turn. He started with a strong spin, landing on $650, and calling a D2Ds appeared. He was playing it smart, racking up some cash before making any big moves. Then, he landed on one of the mystery wedges. The big question: flip it or take the cash? You could see him debating. He decided to go for it. The audience held their breath as he flipped it over, ... and it was the $10,000 prize. The studio erupted. What a comeback! With $10,000 on the line, the pressure was on. Mark knew he couldn't afford a single mistake. He bought an A and an O, which helped fill in more of the puzzle. The letters were revealing something delicious. He spun again, carefully avoiding the bad wedges, and landed on $500. He called a C, and there it was. He knew it. He solved the puzzle. Chocolate-covered pretzels. A brilliant solve. And with the $10,000 from the mystery wedge, he rocketed into first place with a massive lead. Sarah and Jessica had their work cut out for them. Next up was the express round, and the category was phrase. This is where things can change in a heartbeat. Jessica started the round, and she was clearly feeling the pressure. She needed to close the gap. She hit the express wedge on her very first spin. She correctly guessed the letter H and decided to hop on the express train. This was a higher risk, higher reward move. The first letter she called was T correct, then S correct, then R correct again. She was flying through the puzzle, with each consonant adding another $1,000 to her bank. The puzzle was almost complete. The audience was cheering her on. She called one last consonant AG, and it wasn't there. A wrong letter on the express train means an instant bankrupt. A heartbreaking moment for Jessica, as all that potential money vanished. The turn passed back to Sarah, who had been waiting for another chance. She only needed one letter to solve it. She spun the wheel, landed on $700, called the letter N, and then confidently solved the puzzle, making a grand entrance. It was a great solve that put her back on the board with some cash, but Mark's lead was still substantial. As we headed into the final rounds, it was still anyone's game, proving once again that on Wheel of Fortune, anything can happen. The last toss-up puzzle was under the category in the kitchen. Mark, with his quick reflexes, buzzed in first and solved cutting board, adding another $2,000 to his already impressive total. This win confirmed his spot as the night's big winner, and he was heading to the bonus round to play for a huge prize. Sarah and Jessica were great sports, congratulating him on his fantastic game. Mark had played strategically and had a bit of luck on his side, especially with that $10,000 mystery wedge. Now for the moment we all wait for, the bonus round. Mark looked both excited and nervous as he stood next to Pat. He gave the smaller wheel a spin and landed on the A in Americas. Pat took the envelope and placed it on the podium. The final category of the night was, What Are You Doing? A classic and often tricky category. Standard bonus round letters are S, T, L, N, and E were revealed. They gave him a decent start, but the puzzle was still very open. For his additional letters, Mark chose P, H, G, and O. The letters popped up on the board. He now had about half the letters revealed. The 10-second timer started. The puzzle was a two-word phrase. He stared intently at the board, sounding out the possibilities. Jumping, ... jogging. The clock was ticking down. Jogging, path, jogging high. The buzzer sounded. Time was up. It was so close. Pat revealed the answer. Jogging uphill. A tough one, for sure. You could see the disappointment on Mark's face, but he was still smiling. Then came the final reveal. Pat opened the envelope to show what he had been playing for. It was the $100,000 grand prize. The audience groaned in sympathy. So close to a life-changing win. But hey, Mark didn't go home empty-handed. He played an amazing game and walked away with over $15,000 in cash. A huge congratulations to him, and also to Sarah and Jessica for making it such an entertaining show. And that's a wrap on our recap of the January 12th, 2025 episode of Wheel of Fortune. What a roller coaster of emotions. From huge wins to tough breaks, this episode had it all. What was your favorite moment? Let me know down in the comments. Thanks so much for watching with me today. If you enjoyed this breakdown, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and ring the bell so you never miss another recap. We'll see you in the next video.